basics, we are looking at semicolons today because we're going to hope that you're going to use them within your writing. They are quite tricky. We're going to have some examples. The semicolon looks like this. So you've got a full stop and underneath it is a comma. So you draw it, it's a full stop and then a comma, okay? So what is a semicolon? A semicolon is a punctuation mark that is used to link phrases. They link to independent clauses, so the sentence after the semicolon and before it makes sense on their own. Often used to replace a full stop or comma to combine two parts of a sentence or two sentences together. And it works better because it makes a nice transition because the thought carries on rather than it stopping and being almost like a definite end. So we're going to look at a colon versus semicolon. Now we've used colons before. We've used it in our writing recently, we've done our Quidditch instructions. So let's just have a little look at the difference between them. So a colon can join two clauses together when the second clause is a bit like a definition or an explanation. It doesn't really stand on its own, so it has to link to the first clause. Whereas with a semicolon, it joins two related but independent clauses. What we mean by related is, think about a brother and sister, they're related but they're not the same. So two related sentences or independent clauses would be the second part refers back to the first part, or it kind of continues from what was said. The colon can sometimes be used to introduce a quotation, but we can't use a semicolon to introduce a quotation, it just doesn't work. So a colon, what we use them most for is we use them to introduce a list. So if we're writing a list of ingredients or equipment per se, and then we use semicolon is not used to introduce a list. So an example of a semicolon in a sentence. Now we based it on our theme writing this year, for this week. He had to take the second zodiac year. This wasn't easy for him. Second place was a weight on his shoulders. Okay, so we linked that together. So he had to take, we think about the ox, he had to take the second zodiac year. This wasn't easy for him. And then we explain why. Second place was a weight on his shoulders. He didn't want to be second place, he wanted to be first. So it kind of continues the thought. That's why we use our semicolon there. Now, we use a semicolon between two independent clauses that are closely related in thought. So remember, thinking back to our previous example, it was still talking about that idea of being second place. So let's look at another example. So this sentence here, we've got a full stop, or we've got a couple of full stops to separate the clauses. So let's read them. The Jade Emperor praised the dog for his efforts. The dog was rewarded the 11th place, the 11th year on the zodiac. Now we've turned that into, the Jade Emperor praised the dog for his efforts. The dog was rewarded the 11th place, the 11th year on the zodiac. So can you see, we've removed the full stop and made that a lowercase. So again, we've got the idea how to use semicolon in our writing. Let's look at another example. He had managed to trick everyone as he was smart as Einstein. Now again, as you can see, we've got a comma here this time, and we've also got a conjunction after the comma. Let's see what happens to them. He had managed to trick everyone. Replace our comma with a semicolon. He was as smart as Einstein. So, when we are using a semicolon, we don't need a conjunction, we're getting rid of it. Okay, so we replace both the comma and the conjunction with the semicolon. Okay, so I'm going to try and write my own sentence. I'm going to try and think about the rabbit in the story. Now, from what I can remember, the rabbit is often described as quite smart because he didn't swim across the body of water, he used his strong legs to jump on logs. So, apologies for the handwriting. So, the rabbit didn't swim across. Now normally here I'd put a full stop, but instead I'm going to continue. So I'm going to put my semicolon. So the rabbit didn't swim across. He used strong legs. To hop. From log to log. Now obviously that's quite a basic sentence. I could try and up-level it, or maybe turning this into a noun phrase. Maybe I could call it the clever rabbit. And I could maybe describe how they hop by using an adverb, so like swiftly hop or quickly hop. Okay, let's try a different one. This time I'm going to try to think of, not from the story, I'm going to try and think about myself, so we all know I'm a bit obsessed with Harry Potter. So, Miss McNamara loves the Harry Potter books. Again, here isn't where I'd normally put either a full stop or conjunction. Instead, I'm going to use my semicolon. She doesn't think the films So we've got Miss Anna loves the Harry Potter films, so books, she doesn't think the films are as good. Now you'll notice as well that after my semicolon, I've replaced the noun, Miss McNamara, with a pronoun just so it's not too repetitive. Have a go. You can start off quite basic and then see if you can up-level it. So you might start off with a really simple sentence. We go back to this one. The rabbit didn't swim across, he used his legs to hop across, even. And then you can add in your adjectives, you can add in your adverbs, you can add in those features that will make your writing go wow. So just write some ideas down and see if you can connect those thoughts using your semicolon. And remember, unless it's a proper noun after the semicolon, we have a lowercase letter. So if this was a name, we'd put a capital letter, or if it was an I on its own, we'd put a capital letter. Good luck guys, we've been really impressed with our writing so far, so we hope to see some amazing writing using some semicolons.